Hi, I'm John Byrne, editor of Poets and Quants,
I'm Sandy Kreisberg, the HBS guru.
and we're here for another edition of Handicapping Your MBA Odds. Our candidate today is a 24-year-old African-American first-generation college student. She went to a first-tier public university. She's been working as a tax consultant for a mid-sized corporate advisory firm in Texas. She has a GMAT of 680 and a GPA of 3.4, and she wants to go to a top business school. So what do you think?
I think she's a very compelling applicant for the obvious reasons. It's first generation college, African American female is underserved population for business school. She's got a good entry-level job. She's thrived there. I think in her notes she said she's going to be promoted to senior vice president.
Right.
680 GMAT is a pretty solid GMAT score. The one blemish in this story is the 3.4 GPA. But I think a holistic picture, she's a very attractive candidate. A lot of schools would like to have her for a number of reasons. Let me make another point. Where she works is the work she does is similar to the work people do in these quote unquote big four or big three firms like Ernst & Young and Price Waterhouse. That is a good starting position often for female minorities or international students. Those are very good jobs and considered so. If you're a white male from Yale and you're working for PwC, that's somewhat questionable.
Why is that?
It's not viewed as a selective job for a white male from an Ivy League school, even though what you might do there is important.
Right.
But just as a general note, those are where schools like Stanford and Harvard, they will look to firms like PwC and Ernst & Young. They will often take minority females from there. Mm-hmm. There's actually, I've lost track of this, but there was the Price Waterhouse African-American female at Stanford that was like almost a reserved seat for about 3 or 4 years running.
And she has some unusual goals. She has a short-term goal and a long-term goal. The short-term goal is to get a job in corporate finance or investment banking, specifically in the energy or utility industry. The long-term goal is a little more of an interesting thing.
I don't know where she gets the energy thing from.
Texas?
Possibly, but the school's not going to credit you as an energy expert just because you come from Texas.
So you're almost telling me that, to be too specific in your goal is probably not very good.
What schools like, even though in reality this may not happen, what schools like is for you to continue doing what you have been doing. Why do schools like that?
Easy to place you.
That's right. They think it's easy to place you. And what do schools care about?
Placement.
Yes. Well said, my friend. So my suggestion to this applicant would be project goals that are similar to what you're doing. I think she said she's in real estate and healthcare. Say that you want to be in consulting. That's a good one. Transition to consulting in possibly with real estate and healthcare. Investment banking, boy, that's a reach. She might be able to do that. I wouldn't state that as a goal, as a short-term goal.
And then her long-term goal is a little more interesting, in fact. Here it is. I'm going to just read this off.
Yes.
Transfer knowledge to working in-house for a startup clean energy company in California.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say that. It sounds like you're either telling them what you think they want to hear, or you're sharing your secret fantasy. But that does not evolve out of what she's been doing.
Right, so it just doesn't follow.
Right.
Okay.
It doesn't progress.
Yeah. Well,
that would be my advice. The danger is the school reads that and they say, gee, this person doesn't really know the environment. That's the danger. Your long-term goals, schools as long as it sounds reasonable, you don't get punished for it, but there's no upside for saying that.
Now, her four target schools, this is kind of interesting too, because it's UCLA, it's UT Austin, it's Duke, and it's Berkeley. So she doesn't appear to be overreaching for sure, right?
Got an African-American female with a 680 GMAT and a 3.4 GPA with a solid job in a mid-size quantitative kind of consulting firm. I think she'd be welcome at those schools with solid execution. I think.
You think she should try to do some more stretch here, or?
Well, where would the stretch be?
Well, should she try for a Columbia and NYU at Dartmouth? Should she even try for Harvard, Stanford, Wharton?
She should go to those events where the schools have outreach to minorities and underserved groups, and try and schmooze a bit and see what kind of response she gets.
Right.
She could easily get into a place like Tuck if they really liked her. I could see her getting into Wharton if they needed. There's someone like her at Wharton, okay? It could be her.
Right. Okay, odds. UCLA.
Boy, 40 to 50% plus.
Oh, that's pretty good. How about Berkeley?
Same deal.
Yeah. And
she's right in line with those things, and she should get into UT. I'd say
Austin.
50% plus.
And Duke?
I'd say 45, 50% plus.
I think
with serviceable execution.
I think somebody's going to business school.
I hope so.
Well, good luck to you. And incidentally, everyone else out there who's watching this, if you have a profile that you would like Sandy to analyze and give your odds,
Brutalize. Yeah.
just put your profile in the comments underneath in this series of handicapping, and we'll get to it. All right, thank you very much.